And welcome everybody, it's John the Net Guy, and today is Tech on Tuesday number 7. Lucky number 7, I hope. I see a lot of people got in early on this one. I think we have a few people that are interested in the results of the drawing that I talk about down there. And what's actually great about this is today's show is also sponsored, again, by Trifo. And they sent out the second of 3 vacuums here. This is the Emma Pet. This is a pet vacuum and pretty cool product here. I've been using it the last couple days. It's got some interesting stuff that you don't see in the other models that they have here. And the price on this thing is ridiculous. You'll see that towards the end. I've got a special coupon promo code that you can use, which is just awesome. So I want to thank Trifo again for giving a promo code for you guys to use live on the show. I've also got some other cool electronics, got some other neat products. This is a Rio Link security camera. It's a 5 megapixel wireless Vandal proof camera. We're not going to try to beat it up here on the show, but it is kind of cool. And if you've never used Rio Link's equipment, it really is commercial grade. I have a friend, hi Brian, he just ordered 2 NVR units and 8 cameras and a bunch of stuff for his shop. So he's going to have some of the top of the line stuff, and this works with that Rio Link. And it's a cool system. It reminds me a lot of Unify, and you can add in memory cards right to the cameras. You can have a centralized NVR. You can do a lot of really cool stuff with Rio Link. They sent this one out, and we're going to take a look at it and test it out. Got other couple cool things. I've got this monitor back here from Scepter. They finally sent me the email. They're like, hey John, it's time to send that baby home. And as you can see, I've been using it to edit footage because the colors are so accurate on it. So I got a wide range of products here today. A couple that are really neat, a couple that maybe could use some improvement. We'll talk about that. And first up, I've got to tell everybody that we got to let the Amazon folks in. Now, they don't let me in Amazon talk about my website. They don't let me talk about another cool stuff. Pinky's saying he doesn't need another pet part. Let's see if I can get these chats going. I want to test the chats today. There we go. Pinky Tech, another great YouTuber, says, I don't need another pet. That's awesome. Oh no, the fake wall is out. That's coming from Zachary. He's ready. Yes, we are going to do this. If you guys watched the other day, I still actually have this Casa dimmer in here. This thing's awesome. I love the Casa dimmers and all their equipment. It's really cool. But I'm going to show you that NCV, that ticker, I guess they call it. I'm not an electrician, but I wanted to show you the budget version of that. So the one I showed you the other day was actually like $42. You can get this one for $24. So if it's your safety and you're worried about spending almost $50, now you're spending roughly $25. So that said, I cannot tell you to go follow me on Twitter, check me out on YouTube, or any of these other places that are down below. Once I go on Amazon, I have to be careful of the rules, which I will be today. I won't get myself in trouble or shut down. They've been apparently cracking down, I hear. So you'll also see me talking about following several times. I'm kind of on their junior level, and I really want to work my way up the levels. And what that takes is doing a lot of these over and over with lots of products and asking people to follow you. So following is the big way that you can help out. If you are watching on one of those other services, you can check me out on Amazon. Just look for the description. It's the first link to my shop, and then we can go from there. So wanted to welcome again everybody to the show. We're going to get started, and we are going to let the people in Amazon in right now. Hey, welcome Amazon shoppers. It is John the Net Guy, and on today's show, we're going to be checking out a variety of products from anything from electronic safety gear. If you're doing a little bit of home wiring, I've got my home wiring wall out. I've got a pretty cool doorbell here. This is both a battery operated and a wired doorbell. That's another really cool thing. Got a welcome here from some of your friends on the YouTube side. So again, we're broadcasting on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Amazon Live, a few other places. Would love it if you could follow me on Amazon Live if you haven't done that yet. Information about how to do that is down in that corner, and you're going to get to see more of the products we're showing. I've got a Rio Link security camera that's here today. I also have a monitor back here, a gaming monitor that's so good. I use it for editing footage, as well as another gaming monitor I picked up on a deal. So I'm going to try that. It's an off-brand. We'll see if it if it does what it says it does. Let's put it that way. And the whole show today, again, is brought to you by Trifo, and this is their Emma Pet vacuum. So just like we did last week, I'm going to be giving this unit away. So hopefully if one of you guys are a pet owner, I've got a whole presentation about this one and what it can do, and the price on this one is phenomenal, and I've got a promo code to stack on top of it. So if you cheat and you see it in the carousel, don't check out yet, because you're going to want the promo code that I'm going to give you here in a little bit, and that's going to help you save a lot of money on it. So if you do follow me on Amazon, I see I got a couple people on Amazon already. Let me know and hit that follow, and I'll give you a shout out. Let me know where you're from. I'd love to tell everybody where my latest follower is. So without further ado, I'm going to start and talk about this first item that's in our carousel, and that is from Klein Tools. Let me bring this up so you can see it. We're going to switch over to the Klein Tools logo, and it's this. It's a electrical test kit. Now I brought it up on the Amazon carousel, but if you're on any of the other services, the links are there too. This is really important if you plan to do any sort of wiring in your home. I was a big chicken for the longest time when it came to AC wiring, which it's something you've got to really, really be careful with. And so this is one of the tools that's really, really helped me. Hey, Michael M. Awesome. You are here from Houston. Awesome area. I was just in Texas longer than I wanted to be, but nice to see you. And Serene, you are entered in the drawing, the giveaway. We are going to run that giveaway here in just a couple products. Once we get through a couple of these, I will get that giveaway going. We're going to do it live on the air. I've never done the giveaway live, so you can still enter. The details are going to be in that lower left corner on your lower left. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys everything about this tool. So thank you guys for coming back. These are a couple followers, some diehards on Amazon Live that get notified every time I go live on here. So that's awesome. Do I need to email a screenshot? No, you don't. I got your entry. And for people that are entering the giveaway today, if you've entered last week for the last robot vacuum, I'm not going to make you enter again. I'm just going to carry it forward because I'm going to give away that Emma today. Now, I can't have you win both of them. So again, entries like that, you know, it's one winner on these. I'm going to have to take you out. I can't have you win both or all three, but we are going to give away 3 vacuums here over the next week or so. Okay, so these are the batteries that come with this. The other one required a lot more power. It had digital readouts, it had a flashlight, and, you know, a bunch of things like that. This one is a lot more simplistic. Let me show you that real quick. Again, it's just 2 simple pieces. One of them is a plug that you plug in right to your outlet, and that's going to just give you a color code here. If you get both of these on, we look down here, and then that says correct wiring. So if you have something wrong, maybe one of this is very common, they put the ground on the wrong side, or you have an open neutral that's not connected, open hot, anything like that, it'll change the colors of these. So it's kind of like a little bit of a secret decoder ring. So think of it that way. To put the batteries in, you just unscrew the back of this tool. And again, Klein Tools did not send me these, but I really, really believe in them. I use them all the time when I'm doing electrical projects, including this doorbell. If you're doing some doorbell wiring, sometimes because doorbells don't have switches for their power other than the breaker usually, it can be one of those things you don't know if you got the right breaker, you've got everything halfway hooked up. So I'm going to put, you know, the pointy side down on the AAAs, and we'll tighten it down, and we're ready to go. There's the little beep, so I know it's on. And again, just pushing it, you're going to get that green here. I'm going to show you guys that again. So you get that green light. Then you'll know whenever you get near AC. Let's see if I'm going to do it. So that's the hot side right there. It's making a tone and it's changed color. Sometimes, and on my last show, if you got a lot of insulation, maybe not. This one's not insulated very well. It's a plastic box. But if you've got a situation there, you may have to go to the lower range. So you see how it's got 12 to 1,000 and 70 to 1,000 volts? That's what this is for, is that button will change your range. If you hold it down, there's a way to mute it, and then you can turn it all the way off. So I'm going to turn it on because I want it to make a sound for me. I'm going to go over to the other camera here on this side, and I'm going to show you guys the different pieces. Give me 1 second to align this camera best for this demonstration. Let me know how I'm sounding today, guys. Oh, got a Klein multimeter too. That's awesome, Serene. So this is the second part of that kit. I'm just going to put it in the outlet. Now I got tamper resistant outlets because I got kids everywhere, but you just kind of slide it into that outlet and hopefully you can see those colors. I might just bring the second camera over here for us. See if I can bring this a little bit closer for you guys to see. I want you to see those colors and what you're looking at. The other one I showed you a couple weeks back, see those bright colors there? You can't miss them. The one I showed you a couple weeks back there, it had a digital readout. It had all that kind of multimeter display on it and everything. In this case, this one's very, I would call it analog. It's very basic, but it does exactly what you need. And if you're purchasing a home, you're going to see your home inspector walk around with one of these tools. And they're going to test every outlet if they're a good home inspector right now, because that's what they're for. I'm going to take a look real quick and see if we got any questions on the Amazon chat. We do not yet. So this is John the Net Guy. We're taking a look at the Klein NCV, non-contact voltage detector, and that's going to tell if there's power here. Now, what if I actually did find the right breaker? In my case, I unplug my little unit, it's not going to show anything. So now you'll know that circuit's dead. So this is a really, really cool way of just plugging into a circuit. And, you know, or maybe you're having a kid watch the circuit and you're turning off breakers. If they see the lights go out, you know you've got the right one. Now, in combination, I just plugged it back in. If you use this meter and you go along the wire, that side of the wire is where the hot is. It is so sensitive. If you're on that side, you get nothing. If you're on that side, you get something. The other thing is this can also work in the outlets. Now, you're going to have a little bit of a problem here, maybe. So see how I can't get that to physically fit in the outlet? This is actually a safety thing with these tamper-proof outlets. So it's not a problem with the meter. This is something we ran into last time. If you do something like this, you actually have to have the gates open on both sides. And this is a tamper resistance feature. It's up to code now. Maybe I'll get an old cheap one I can show you guys. But normally, if you have the old outlets that don't have, if you look inside this one, you'll actually see it there. See those little white in the back of the outlet there? That's actually telling us that I can't put it in because it has that. Now, if I go again around other parts of the wire, up above, it's making the noise, it's doing that. So that's the difference there. You may think that it's off. Just make sure that, again, you have the thing fully inserted if you're taking a look at it that way. So that is the Klein Tools non-contact voltage detector. It's not a multimeter, so it's not going to tell you how much voltage is there, but super handy to have in your pocket when you're doing any sort of electrical work. This guy is also really cool as well, especially if you have, like we said, these tamper resistant outlets. I can push it in and I can make a test and know right away that it's working, even if I don't have the non-contact going in there. And the non-contact is insulated on the tip. It has a plastic tip there, you see, with that metal sensor, and it's just detecting the AC going down the line on the hot wire. So that's how it works. This has been John the Net Guy. We're going to skip along to the next product, which is actually from the Xtu company. So Xtu reached out to me, and I hate to admit it, last year. This is one of those products that has taken me a long time to put a review together on, and I will put a full official review on this one. But this product is the Xtu J6. Now, I've done a lot of doorbells. My channel started doing doorbells. This one's really, really cool. And I'm going to pull it up on the Amazon for you here because I think I've got some better pictures. Give me 1 second to get that going. I will also show you guys how to get to my Amazon page. So if you take that URL that's in the lower left corner, let's see if I can get this to come up right. Always a first time for everything. So you go to my Amazon page, you can see us live now. You can see the product that we're currently taking a look at. You can also go down here and see products that I've reviewed in the past. This is always really fun. I like going there and I make videos from the little clips that we have here. If I go to number 7, Tech on Tuesday, these are all the products that are coming up. And if you look at that Klein Tools, for example, you can see here it's $23.99. And then if you want the one that has a stripper with it, So you can click on that and you can bring up, it's $43.98. So you can go from one product that I have listed and jump around to several others. And while we are on the air, a lot of times you're actually going to see my live stream on this one. It'll be playing here. So that is the non-contact voltage detector. We're going to go on to the J6 Doorbell by Xtu. My unit is so early. You'll notice here that I don't have the Xtu branding on it. They got it to me that early. And, you know, I've really enjoyed this. A couple really interesting things about it. There are batteries inside it, some heavy duty batteries, lithium batteries. This thing will last an incredible long time. I wonder if it's going to tell us the duration, because I actually used it in a plugged in mode. I don't see the duration of the battery life in here. But, you know, there's ways to use it with no monthly fees too. I know a lot of the Wyze customers are not so happy because all of the Wyze doorbells, they've chosen not to put a SD card slot in. And this one, SD card slot right there. You can put your trans flash card. You can put it in right there. There's also the reset button and your on off button if you need to take it off for some reason. This was on the front of my house. I just ripped it off. It has a security screw on the bottom, but I did just take it off so that I could bring it down here and show you. Give me 1 second. And Amazon customer, thank you so much for following. And Serene G, thank you for checking me or looking for me on Instagram, like you said. Unfortunately, I can't give that information out, but you may be able to find me. Let me go here, and I'm going to bring up a couple other things for you. As far as installation goes, super duper easy to install. And you're going to totally get me in trouble tonight, Pinky, aren't you? I'm going to pull this up here real quick for us. Hopefully you guys can see that. This is what comes with the doorbell itself. So that's all the stuff that you need. It does come with this chime. So this is the chime I'm holding up here. So this chime that you have here, sounds like a regular doorbell. You can hit that to adjust the volume. You can adjust the melody if you want something different. Sorry if I'm blasting you guys out there. I don't know how loud it actually is on the other side. Let me know if that's awful. But yeah, you can press these simple little buttons on the top here, and this is a wireless chime, so it can go anywhere. They also include this micro SD, not micro SD, what am I thinking? Micro USB cable to plug this in permanently. So if you found the spot where you want it to go, you can do that. They do include 3 batteries. They're right here. They died in about 3 months on the chime that I have. So again, it's constantly listening for the doorbell to be pressed. So when you do press that doorbell, simple like that, you can see it's instantaneous. Now on my phone, I actually have an alert here. And I'm just trying to see here. I'm going to bring up the Cloud Edge software. One thing I like about this compared to the Blink that we saw before, and actually let me pull this up real fast. Hopefully you guys can see this. Video's coming up, I hope. There's my Xtu doorbell preparing for intercom, and there's the video right now. I need to mute myself, but you can see it right there. I'm actually talking to the person, and guess what? This is not even plugged in right now. This is completely wireless, which is just awesome, and that's something I like. Now, again, it's cutting in and out a little bit. There's a variety of reasons for that here, but that's the doorbell. If I hang up on this one, I can actually go to the doorbell app itself, and I can show you a little bit about that, so I can see a live view. I can see the Wi-Fi battery. I can see the alert history, which is what this tab is. I don't have an SD card, so the history on this one only works if you have the SD card, but I do have the cloud subscription. So again, first thing this morning, my Amazon delivery angel came through, so you can see that. She tried to figure out how to use the package butler and scan my package from this morning. And then there's the guy this afternoon, which accidentally knocked it off the wall. And then there's my kids that were coming back from school and stuff. So as you can see, very effective doorbell. I do actually get the notifications, which is something that the Blink wasn't doing for me before. And again, let's talk about that installation because it is so super easy. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to close that app. So that is the Xtu doorbell. And I'm going to go back over here and show you the installation steps and what I went through. First things first, take off whatever doorbell that you have there. So if you've got the 2 wires on your doorbell that are coming out and you've got an AC transformer on the inside, I'll show you what that is. Take those off, take the wires, loosen them up. Obviously turn off the breaker before you start all this. And you can verify that with this. Actually, if you go down to the 12 volt range with that device I showed you first in the show, you can sense on that wire if there's AC current on it. So that's what this sensor is good for when you're doing this. That's part of why I wanted to show that first today. So you do that, you get the leads that it comes with and you attach those on the inside. So this is kind of interesting. It's a difference, I guess. Let's see if I can zoom it for you here. So those are the leads right there that it comes with. You don't actually connect it. So on the back of the unit, there's 2 little flat nubs, little metal contacts. And when you connect it on the wall, those little tabs are what makes contact. So you can use this completely wirelessly. You can do it all on battery power, and you can charge it up every, few months when it needs a charge. You are going to lose some of that motion detection and motion alerting capability. It's just going to go back to purely passive infrared at that point. So want to point that out. So it is better to have it plugged into power. I just, took those leads there. I used the wire nuts that it had, and I put the thing against the wall. It has, included screws, so you can, if there's a little bit larger than the other one, you can put it there. The other thing I like about this is the size is not obnoxiously large. It's bigger than a standard doorbell, and it's bigger than the Wise smaller doorbell, but it's not crazy. I've got a Heim Vision, and the rings are just enormous. It's like you're putting a laptop battery on your door. So definitely decent size. And you can see there the way that clip on the top works. You just poke that in and push it against the wall, and it'll actually mount just like that. And the first thing that you should see if everything's working is that red doorbell button on the left side there. So that tells you that it's charging. The next part of the installation is to go find your chime and your transformer. They may or may not be located near each other. Maybe your chime's in a hallway or something. And the work there is pretty easy. In this case, it doesn't use your mechanical chime. A lot of people ask about that. Can I use a mechanical chime with this? From what I could tell, this one does not use your mechanical chime, so it's similar to Wise and a lot of other vendors. But it does use the power from your mechanical chime, and what you'll need to do is install a jumper wire. So this is a wire that they offer, and you jumper across your chime. So that chime's not going to go off anymore, but it actually makes it work better for charging the battery on your unit, so it'll keep the unit charged up. So the cool thing about this is this will work in a power outage as well. So if somebody walks up and your power's out or something happened, this will still capture all of that locally to the SD card, and you can review it later. So really, really cool installation features here. I do want to talk real quick about the J6, what the differences are compared to several other of the units out there. First thing it's going to ask you is to update the firmware, which is real common with these, especially if they've been in shipping for a while. The one thing I would say is maybe a drawback is the view. Now I'm going to get myself out of the way here so you can kind of see. So this is my front porch area. It's been remodeled several times. And I want you to notice a couple things. I got myself out of the way. It's a really good picture. So this was, I think yesterday, really, really decent picture on this thing. But it's right at those stairs. And I'll show you another picture here in a second that'll show you how far away those stairs actually are from the front door. And that's the thing that's a little bit concerning is that's probably, I know that's a 10-foot deck that's on there, like 8 to 10 feet. So it's missing a lot of that area that's right up against the house. Now, what does that look like if you were to look at maybe a competitor like a Ring? So this is the Ring version, and I'll try to zoom in for you guys so you can see the specific area I'm talking about here. But if you look in the corner on the Ring, you can see all the way to that left corner. And you can also see the edge of, and I'm kind of pointing there, but you can see where that house, the roof comes out and another couple of feet. So if we parked our stroller in that corner, you can see both strollers that we have there. Hey, I got a special friend that came in. He gets a warm welcome.
G'day, mates.
Welcome, Kren. Thank you for joining us here. I'm actually just showing off a doorbell that I have here. This is the Xtu J6 Doorbell. Now, if I go back to the other view here, this is its picture. The picture is phenomenally better than the Ring. I would have to say, you can look at the trees right on the deck, how crisp and clear they are. It's definitely a 1080 picture. super high resolution, except where that stroller was on the deck, you can't even see it, right? So if I go forward to the next picture, I zoom into where that stroller was for you guys, I'm not even seeing that. So if somebody was standing there, there's a potential that it might be a security risk. Now, if you have a wedge or you have this thing installed a little bit differently, maybe that's not a problem. And so again, a lot of these doorbells that are coming out now are making concessions, right? They're saying, okay, I'm gonna have a really ultra wide view. Maybe like the next one here, this is the field of view on the Blink. I thought that was kind of a medium field of view. You know, it's kind of pointed left there, you can see. If you look at the Wise, you can't see the end of the gutter at all. Literally, they went with this vertical field of view because they thought everybody's doorbell was right next to their door, and in my case, it's offset maybe 6 to 8 inches, and now that's what I end up dealing with. The Wise Pro is the next one coming out, and that's this circular projection, which some people really don't like, but it kind of gives you the best of both worlds. You don't get the fine detail, especially far out, but you end up getting those details back. You get a little bit of a benefit there, right? So you lose a little bit of fine detail, but you have a very wide field of view. Just to compare, I'm going back to the picture from the Xtu J6. It's a phenomenal picture. This is a great picture. It'd be a great camera in the right situation. But again, not a fisheye if that's what you're looking for at all. Okie dokie. I'm going to go back to what it looks like in a final installed scenario. So now you got the blue light. It's working great. That's my Wise keypad above there. And ultimately, in the end, that's what the picture looks like. I'm really, really happy with it. And I'm really happy with the alerting capabilities it has. I, have no complaints at all. Again, battery operated for, backup capability. There's lots of really cool things about this one. Now, this is the video. I'm going to show you this real quick. You see the trees moving? So it's going to be a little bit delayed because of Amazon and some other resolution choices, but you can see there that the video, it's kind of shaky. It's not going to be crystal clear like a FaceTime call or something if you're used to that. So again, I can play that real quick for you. So you're seeing the video that I stored right out of this, but again, the resolution is so high. If somebody was walking along, those almost, 5 frames a second that you're getting are going to be really clear. And this was also stored in the cloud and not to the local SD card. The cloud subscription, I believe, is $2.99 a month. I re-signed up for it. I thought it was worth it. Again, such a great unit. I might use this in another area. I might use it up on our RV because we get some visitors up there sometime, and it would be nice to have that. Maybe use it on a back porch doorbell if you have those scenarios too as well. So definitely not getting rid of this one. It's going to be in the Hall of Fame here. I do like this one. If you have any questions about it, let me know. I'm about ready to move on. I know we got State of Union tonight and a few other things going on. So about ready to move on to our next product, which actually comes to us from Rio Link. And I'm going to clean up a little bit of my area up here. And while I do that, I'm going to kind of introduce this product to you. So again, Rio Link makes home security and small business security products. They make IP cameras. They make wireless and wired. I've got boxes of different styles of Rio Link out there. Been very, very happy with their product line. This one was sent to me by Rio Link for free for a fair and honest review, which I will give them. And I'm going to move this down real quick, and we will get this other product out here. I didn't think about it today, but I've got like electrical and monitors. Next time I'm going to put all products that are like each other. I think that would be an improvement. Have all like products on a show, so I only have to move monitors around. I only have to move something. But I do have a couple gaming monitors for you holdouts that are going to stick with me here. So this is the Rio Link 5 megapixel. They're calling it Vandal proof. I don't know if they've met my Vandals, but that's what it looks like. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'm going to bring you right up close to it so you can see the construction and the dome on it. So it is an all metal construction. It does have the standard wireless, antennas. You could replace those with whatever you want. It is a security device, so it does have tamper resistant screws all around. And to open it up to put the micro SD in, you actually have to remove all of these. This would be one of my first complaints about this thing, is it is very difficult to work on. Now, once you get it installed, you don't have to mess with this ever again. But here, I'm going to take the top off using those security screws. And you can see I'm already kind of bound up here 7 different ways. It's all these wires that go from the bottom to the top. And, you know, if you disconnect one accidentally, you're in big trouble. Now, what's cool is when you're installing this thing, you can actually adjust this. And then once you've adjusted it, nobody can mess with it. And this is actually really important. So I did a Rio Link system at our church, and literally they called me up and they said, hey, you got to check the cameras out. We had somebody that was stealing gas out of the church van. Yay, you know, junior achievement. And we went to look at the Rio Link cameras, and they had actually taken our bullet style cameras and they had pushed them up, but the field of view is so wide on these Rio Links that you could still see them the whole time. So we had them, and when they pulled in, the detail level, even on the 4 megapixel, this is 5 megapixels, so even better, the detail level was so much better that we already had their license plate even when they pulled into the stall that they were, you know, going to go steal gas from. So that was really cool. Now that this thing is essentially booted up, I'm going to kind of close the lid on it. I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to open the Rio Link app. And first up, I'm going to use the desktop just because I want to show you some cool stuff about that. Okay, let's see if it's got a picture of me on here. I'm going to pull up Rio Link on the background. Okay, so I'm going to pull it up right now. And this is my Rio Link software. And this is the desktop version of the software. The mobile app is just as good. You can see here the picture that's coming out of this. Now you have to remember, this is completely wireless. The only thing that you need to have on this, I believe, is 12 volts of power, which comes through that. There's a slight delay on this that you can see there, and that blink was actually my capture device that I'm using. So you can see that that works. Now, I have other Rio Link cameras in my stable here. I've got one, that's my back deck. Don't judge. We got lots of kids and stuff. So that's the back deck of my house. But like I said, this also works with NVRs. So if you're not familiar with NVRs, Rio Link makes a networked video recorder. There's all of the different cameras around my house right now, and I like to call this one the Sky Cam, so I can see out over my driveway area. Let's see if I can pull that up right. It's the curse of the demo today. Doing a lot of things on this. So yeah, I can you can see me waving on that one. My NVR is taking the day off apparently. But yeah, I have several different cameras that I use, and I have even customer cameras that I have on my Rio Link app that I can go to right away as well. That's actually my front porch. So I might leave this up in a window just going along throughout the day, and I'll know when I have deliveries, and you can see the quality of the cameras that they have. So very, very happy in general. And what's neat about this is there's a mixture here now of wired and wireless and NVR products and non-NVR products, which is pretty cool. So that's another interesting thing. Now, as far as vandalism and vandal proofing, I'll let you guys decide on that. This is like a polycarbonate dome on the top here. It is normally designed to be installed upside down, and I'm not going to try to lose all the screws, in the eaves of a house or a business, and you can have it pointed down. It does not pan and tilt. So even though it looks like it has pan and tilt control, it does not have that pan tilt capability built into it. So that's something else to remember about it if you're taking a look at this. So this is the Rio Link, the RLC 542WA. And I'm going to pull it up real quick. Actually, this is kind of a cool view. I'll just bring it up over here so you can see it real fast. That's the rest of my studio there. I did stop painting in that corner apparently early one day. So that's a little bit embarrassing there. Let me get back out here, and I'm going to go to the product on Amazon. We can take a look at it. Again, the way that you get to the products on Amazon is you visit my NetGuy URL. So it's amazon.com/shop/thenetguy. You'll see me live right there. And whenever I go live, you can visit here and you can see me. And this is Tech on Tuesday. So if I go in here, the current price on this is $120, but they do have a discount here, and they're constantly running promotions. You can see here, if you buy this with another product, you can usually get a discount on both of them. So that's really, really cool. This is the Rio Link 5 megapixel vandal proof camera. Now, it does have a mobile app with it. I don't have the mobile app set up on my other phone here. I'm going to bring this up real quick, just so you can see what it looks like in the mobile app. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the chat. Just picking it up right now. Now, if you do have this device and you have the micro SD in there, there is no cost to this, which is really slick. That's one thing I like about the Rio Link products, is with your own NVR, you're doing your own storage, or with this device and a micro SD card, up to 256 gigabytes, which for a single camera is going to be like a month of continuous storage. You don't have any issues with that. So I'm going to come back out here and I'm going to bring up the application so you can see it right there. That's the Rio Link app. You can, again, if you have the SD, you can go back to playback and you can play back whatever you have there. I don't have anything playing back. I only have live. And again, if I was to go this way, I can give you a full screen view, and they have different modes. So you've got low, balance, and the full 5 megapixel. So it can do that both wirelessly and not wired. So really, really cool product, again, from the Rio Link company. I want to thank them for sending this thing out. I will do a more detailed and in-depth review of this product, specifically around the installation. I think that's one of the areas that is a little bit more difficult than it needs to be. I think they could do maybe a slight improvement there, by changing a little bit about how it gets put together. I'm going to go ahead and bring up what you get in that installation kit, because I think that's important here. So in the lower left corner there, you can see all the parts that come in it. One of the most important things, and I'll be honest, is the security sticker. That's what you want to put in your windows so that nobody's going to be silly enough to try to break in. And that's just, again, right here in the top of the box, they have that stop sign. And when I bought my first house, the insurance agent was like, hey, you need to have a sticker. And she gave me a stack of them, and I didn't even have ADT or whatever it was back then. So again, this is the sticker that you get here. Let's get you the right camera. So Rio Link 24-hour surveillance sticker comes with it. You do get a cord here off of the regular charger. I'm guessing that's maybe 4 feet. It's not very long, but I'm going to show you here. They're calling this a 4.5 meter cord. So, Kren, if you're in the chat, you can translate for us and let us know how many feet that is. I'm guessing about 13.5 feet roughly of cord. So that is one thing. Even though it is wireless, it does require power. So you're going to still have to provide it power. Now, another thing that's a little bit frustrating for me, and it's going to make it a little bit harder to install, is most of the Rio Links will come with an Ethernet. So the setup of this requires you to use that Ethernet. For the first time, it doesn't allow you to set it up just direct wireless. So you have to do that. But it's not power over Ethernet capable, which is another frustrating thing. So that's a couple gripes on this one. They do include cable glands and all this other stuff if you're familiar with making your own cables or cutting cables. So it's a waterproof cable gland. So once you get this thing installed for our Northwest, I should call it our Northwest summer where we get all of our rain, you're going to be completely fine. You're not going to have any issues, but that was a little frustrating because I would like to have one wire Ethernet PoE, but they do make different cameras that do support PoE, so I guess I can't really give them a hard time about that because, again, the solution that this is for is maybe if you have an outbuilding out back that has power but no internet directly to it, this one can catch the wireless from your house and does have very good signal strength with the dual wireless antenna array here. So surprisingly good signal on that one. If you guys have any questions, let me know. This is John the Net Guy. If you're just joining, I am doing a Tech on Tuesday, and we're going over several products. This is the third product today. We have 3 more products. And actually, we're about ready to switch over to our giveaway. So I have the drawing names plugged into the computer here. I'm going to move a couple things around. I'm going to actually put this one over here for now. So we are actually doing a drawing, not for this guy. I'm grabbing you guys the wrong one. We are doing our drawing for this one. This is the Trifo Maxwell. I showed you guys this last week on Tech on Tuesday. Super cool product, I have to admit. It has a security camera, not as capable as this one, but it actually has a security camera built into it. How cool is that, right? So yeah, that is the Trifo Maxwell with the security camera built in. There was some confusion over promo codes and whatnot. So again, if you tried to purchase this and the price was a little bit higher than you expected, they did reissue a promo code to me. So I may need to plug that in for you. Shoot me an email, just Jonathan Net Guy, if you had problems, and I'll get you the right promo code. Let me look here real quick. We're going to go back here and I'm going to get set up for the drawing. I appreciate you guys' patience here. This is provided by Trifo directly. They're going to ship this thing to you. And I'm going to pull up the list. Get that going here. While I'm doing that, if you guys in the chat have any questions about the products we've shown, let me know about those. Kren's given us the answer. He says about 4 meters is about 15 feet. Most people don't have PoE switches. Anyway, that's a really good point. Yeah, there's a lot of injection that you can do with injectors. That helps a little bit. But yeah, they've got solutions for that. That's a great point. You know, there's other ones. And Zachary Solis, I've said, that's funny. He brings up the speak for yourself, right? Because I've seen his 48 port PoE switches and stuff. He puts small data centers to shame. Here we go. I'm going to pull up our spinner wheel to decide this. And I'm going to be putting our names in here. And I just got to put a couple last minute entries in here. If you are in the chat and you did not enter, this is the last chance. I'm going to have to go back to my email, yell out in the Amazon chat or in the YouTube chat if you did not enter and you want to be on this drawing. I think I've got everybody. And I will try to get that going here. I'm going to give it 30 seconds for additional names for the drawing here, and then we'll get that going. Again, this week, I'm also going to do a drawing. I'll have more information about that of the Emma Pet. Now, the Pet one has got a couple cool features. Doesn't have the security camera. That's a drawback, in my opinion, if you're looking for security. My wife asked about this today, too. She goes, well, you know, why would you need a security camera in your vacuum? And I said, well, if you don't have cameras everywhere around, like I do, maybe you're a normal person. Some of our friends just got broken into at church. People had stolen some stuff, some guitars that he had. It was really sad. They were just away for a little bit. Luckily, they weren't home when this happened, but they ended up getting cameras and getting a video doorbell after that break-in happened. If you had one of these that has a motion sensing security camera, if you're out, this is a really cool product. Again, it's you'll see it in the Tech on Tuesday last week, number 6. You can see a link directly to this one, which is a really cool feature. So just looking at the chat one more time. Michael M, you know what? I didn't see you on the list. I am going to put you on the list right now. Michael M, you are now added to the list as well. And I'm going to check last chat rounds here to make sure. And I'm sorry, it's for U.S. residents only, Kren. We'll come up with something good for you. Okay, so I'm going to call that the drawing list here. I'm going to put the people in. We're going to go full screen, and I'm going to bring up the drawing. Oh, not that window. See, this is an interesting thing when you run slideshow mode and then try to switch back and forth constantly. Here we go. This is the spinning wheel. This is all of the people that entered, and I'm going to hit the magic button here, and we are going to do a drawing right now for this Trifo Maxwell. Oh my goodness. Oh, she's going to be so happy. Awesome. So Kim L, this is a lady I know that did enter. She was very serious. She like sent me several messages to make sure he was in this. She has won the Trifo Maxwell Home Security Vacuum Cleaner. That's so awesome. This is a smart vacuum cleaner. If you do go check Tech on Tuesday number 6, you'll see about it. We're going to get back to the regular show now, though. I've got more products here, and we're actually going to switch over to some stuff that maybe my tech nerd friends are going to be more excited about right now. So Kim L, thank you so much. I'm going to remove you out of this. And again, if you did enter, you're going to be re-entered for this next drawing as well for the next vacuum. And that's coming up here shortly. So again, if you're brand new and you're just starting to watch my show, this is John the Net Guy. We're doing a giveaway each week here, believe it or not. And so if you entered and you did not win the vacuum, you're going to be entered for the next week. If you haven't entered yet, go ahead and do that when I give the details later in the show, and we'll get you entered for the next one. So the next product I want to bring up is actually a monitor company that I've never used before. And I just pulled it up on the other site here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull this up, and I'm going to close a couple things out here so I can yank them up quickly. And this, if you're taking a look again, if you go to my shop over here, I'm a big Scepter fan, but this is actually kind of an up and coming name. So I'm going to call it Nexus, the EDG 27 IPS gaming monitor. There's some cool stuff about this one, and there's some stuff that I wasn't too excited about, and I'm going to show you why. So I'm going to pull it up here, and just right off of the bat, obviously, super clean, large screen. That's what I love about these things. It is available for $249 right now. So hopefully you guys can see that here, and you can see that in the Amazon. First things first, the stand. It leaves a lot to be desired. That is your full range of motion on your stand. So to call yourself a gaming monitor right now and only be able to move that much, very, very frustrating. The other thing is, now, and I like this, I'll give them props here. On the back side of the monitor, they've got their VESA mounts right here. You'll see in the Scepter that all the connections go straight back, and it has RGB and some other cool stuff. So I'm not trying to dog on this one, but again, without any sort of adjustability, you're trying to plug in all your I/O in the back, and you don't have any way to tilt the monitor. So if you're going to go with a VESA mount, a single monitor arm, I've shown you guys a bunch of those options. That's okay, but take a look at the inputs on this thing. It's got 2 display ports and 2 HDMIs. And then the power brick that comes with it is separate from the monitor. It keeps the weight off of the monitor, but it's actually surprisingly heavy. I don't know the exact monitor specs, but it feels heavier than I'm used to on these 27s now. And I've got a lot of 27s in this room. So it's definitely on the heavier side, and I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing in this case. I'm going to plug it in just so I can show you a few things about it. And then I'm going to show you the results of the calibration test I did on it. Every monitor that I have, and I review here, goes through a calibration process because I want to show you what the monitor looks like exactly. And I'm just looking for my cable here so I can pull this up. And again, I'm going to have to hook this HDMI up, and so now I've got to lean down and try to get, and luckily I have access to the back of my monitor here. And I will pull this up for you guys that are watching online shortly. I have to switch inputs and a couple other things to make this actually work, but we'll just do a duplicate here, and you can kind of see my show on this monitor. A couple things right away that I don't necessarily like, and let's try to figure out how to turn this thing on. The buttons. It reminds me of a very old Dell, but not a great one. Like the really old Dells were kind of cool because, they had the capacitive and some people hated those. This one acts like it's capacitive, but they're actually touch buttons in the back. And to answer a question right away, see some chat people here. Refresh rate. That came up here on the chat. Refresh rate on this one is 144 hertz. So that's a good refresh rate. And let me see if I can... Oh, you know what? I have 2 monitors plugged into this laptop. Sorry about that. Always confuses it when I do that. I'm going to just make sure it switches over properly. Means I got to plug this one back in and out. It used to be so nice when they actually had monitors or laptops that actually had a plug on them that you could go right to. So I'm going to go ahead and switch here and see if we can find the input on this one. This is going to be kind of embarrassing if we can't. That would be pretty interesting. Okay, so going into HDMI 1. Let's see if we can get anything on that one. I'm in HDMI 1. This is the test, right? Can I get the monitor to display anything. Test volume 1. So it's going to automatically, I had this up and running. There you go. So it's going to automatically pick up the stuff. A couple things right away that I find incredibly frustrating about it. Now, it's super bright right now, and most of the things are going to be really bright. If I go to one of my other cameras, it might actually tame down a little bit. There you go. You can see it. It automatically adjusts. So if I go to one of those, you can see the picture's good. Like the colors that you're seeing there, that's really, really vibrant and nice. Very good saturation right out of the box. I don't have any cool gameplay footage. I really wish I did. I wanted to get my Xbox One set up here, but I just ran out of time. What I really, really don't like, and I'm going to bring this around so you can see it right away. What I really, really don't like about this thing right off of the bat is what they're doing in that lower corner. This is 2022, and we've got like an up, a down, a left, a power input, whatever. But when I bring up the menu system, they don't align at all. And they don't actually do what the menu says. So you would think that, well, power does left. Maybe, maybe not. So I'm going to hit this button again. I guess that wasn't the right one. That brought up this OSD because that timed out on me. There's a volume one. I can hit this again, but I can't hit left. So it's actually left and right, but the one on the far left is enter. And so again, you're going to get lost in these. I was trying to do the calibration test, and I about drove myself nuts because the buttons don't align to the OSD. It's like a rookie mistake, in my opinion, that you would put this out. So now if I hit left and right, okay, so that's doing it. And then I want to go into that one. It's actually, which button is it? The far right button is to go in. So again, not even the button that's labeled on the OSD. So I don't know if they can even firmware fix this. And then now the button I'm hitting that's right and left, it's up and down. And then when I hit to enter, which should be the far right, it goes back. That's the exit, not the enter. Again, infuriating if you're trying to use this thing for with the OSD. And it doesn't have, OSD software like some of the other more expensive brands. You can put the OSD software and you don't really care about the OSD. Again, I'll show you the back here. And these are what I'm talking about, just these little tactile touch buttons on the OSD there. So I'm hitting those things. I'm already frustrated with some of the other monitors and the lack of a joystick or these other things that are becoming more common now. So this was really, really frustrating. As Pinky said, the viewing angles on this thing are really, really good. So you can see I'm at like, what? That's enormous. And you get a little bit of color shift, maybe not much. So you see how bright that is? And this stand cannot make enough noise, I think. Has no height adjustment on the stand as well. I only have tilt angle. And again, you can see that color stays almost the same throughout the entire tilt range. So whatever they didn't spend on the OSD guy and they didn't spend on the guy that made the mount, they put it in the panel because the panel is actually really good. It's not going to be nearly as bright as the Scepter, which is coming up, but surprisingly good on that. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. I'm just going to look and make sure I get the specs. So this is 2560 by 1440, also 1440p, commonly known as. If I could navigate the menus, I would just go in here and try to turn the brightness down because I had it really set high. Let's see if I can do that. No, that's the infuriating button. There's the brightness, and enter is the far right key and down is the far left key. Okay, I just want to do that so you guys can see it on the main screen here. There we go. So that's brightness all the way down. So again, pretty decent brightness on this as well. If I bring up something that has colors, again, like the spinning wheel that we had here, you can see that it's a decent picture. Gaming on this would be cool. The other thing that I use monitors for, and I just want to show you this, again, that is Lightroom. So I took a bunch of pictures at a wedding this summer. It's what you end up with if you got a bunch of cameras. Our kids, and they were not happy. But you need accurate colors when you're changing the exposure of a picture, right? You need to have that accurate because there's nothing worse as a creator or photographer than sending a picture that on your monitor looks great, but it comes onto the other person's monitor and looks like this. Or vice versa, that the colors, the biggest thing would be the tint usually, so that you send them a picture that's green like you see here, when it should be red, or it's red when you meant to have it right in the middle. So that's a real common rookie mistake. So let's talk about that color So I use a tool called a data color spider. Now I didn't put this in, and I should have, but this is the tool that I use, and it's the Data Color Spider Elite. It's a display analysis tool and a calibrator. So if you don't have one of these and you are a creator, you know, this might be something. Maybe I'll throw it on next Tech on Tuesday. I'll do a demo of it. But what you do with this tool is you take it, and it's a puck, which has just a really cool eyeball on it. And you put this counterweight over the back of the monitor and you run it through a series of tests. So let me know if you guys are following along here in the chats. So we're taking a look. This is John the Net Guy. We're taking a look at the Nexus gaming monitor. I don't have games loaded up for it. I wish I did. It's a 144 hertz monitor with 2 DisplayPort inputs, 2 HDMI, so a total of 4 inputs on it. And I'm just going to show you the calibration results on this from the display analysis. And I'm going to go ahead and open the existing report because I did it earlier. Now I apologize because you're probably not going to see, unless I do something silly like this. Well, there we go. It worked. You're not going to see the results as easily as I could pump them out onto a screen. But what I'm seeing here is this is actually the RGB color space. So when I was talking about photography and even video games, you want 100% of sRGB. That's what everybody programs video games at. If you're doing print photography or print layout works, you want these other numbers to be a lot higher. So you can see these triangles you're seeing here. That purple triangle is, I believe that's your Adobe P3 or Adobe RGB. And that blue one over there is the P3 color space. So a bunch of different color science stuff. Guys got together, said this would be a really cool way. So this monitor nails the sRGB, which is all you can really expect from something like this. And that's what most people do video games in and most people work in. But if you needed a little bit more rich color, then you might want to look at the monitor that's coming up next. So that's what that one has. As far as brightness and contrast goes, these are really important now. I've got this thing turned all the way down, just so you know. And the brightness on this one came in actually higher than rated. I think rated on this one, let's go take a look real quick on Amazon, see if it talks about nits of brightness. I thought I saw, let's see if we can come down here. And I'm just going to look at brightness. Nits. Ooh, I don't see nits of brightness, but I did think it was, don't quote me on this, but I thought it was 300. So 300 nits of brightness. This thing came in at 382 at the highest and at 880 on the contrast. Your VA panels and your TN panels are going to have a lot more contrast. That's just really common with them. But these panels are going to do just as good for now. So this is the Nexus. Now I'm going to do, again, a more in-depth review of this one. Stand, not great. The ergonomics of the OSD, almost impossible to use. The inputs, total plus because it's got 2 and 2 on the DisplayPort and HDMI. None of these monitors nowadays are going to have VGA or DVI. They've just gone past that. No speakers to speak of that I know of, and it does have the audio output. So if you have, you know, headphones that you plug in, you can plug them in right to the monitor. So really cool from there. Just double checking here. Will that camera connect to the wiring from a floodlight, or does it need to be plugged in? That Pinky Tech's asking that about the old, the last product, and yes, that actually does have to be plugged into a regular outlet on that Rio Link. That's another kind of a drawback, but you get 15 feet of cord, so that's what you get on that one. So again, this is John the Net Guy. This is our first monitor that we're taking a look at, was the Nexus. Now I'm going to show you the monitor that I've been using for the last 3 months, and I wish that we could always have monitors for 3 months to do reviews on them, because you really get to find everything you like and dislike about it. You know, other monitors, you get a couple hours with them to do a review, and you're kind of rushed through all of the steps of review, honestly. Like, again, I would like to do a lot of gameplay on this thing, and I'm going to put it on a monitor arm and see if all those other complaints go away once I've got it tuned in, because this could be a phenomenal monitor if it has the right setup. That said, this other monitor is phenomenal. I just pulled it up in the carousel. If you're just joining me, this is John the Net Guy. We're taking a look at several different products today. One of them that we just started is actually the one that's behind me here. So I've got this plugged in. This is where it normally sits. I use my both my iMac here and my laptop to do editing. So in this case, we're going to go back over to That was the Nexus brand. So, I use both of these. The Scepter company has a great gaming monitor that definitely does dual purpose. I've told another friend who's actually in the chat here, and he has bought a couple of these and really likes them. This is from Scepter. This is their QPN, it's called. This is a QPN 27-inch monitor right off of the bat. Take a look at that. You have like a full 6 inches range of motion here, up and down. Other cool things that it has, once I get it up to that height, tilt. I think we talked about this the other day on here. Yeah, super nice stand. And I don't even think my friend's using the stand. I think he's doing it. It also has sway side to side. So you can see the base isn't moving, but this is swaying side to side. So if you're doing multiple monitors with the built bases, you can tilt them inward a little bit. So it's not quite a curve. And so stand, he got rid of the stands, he's saying, but stand's one of the best parts of this thing. Another thing, if you've been doing stuff like me, where you're doing a lot of swapping of hardware, the back of this thing is just phenomenal. Let me see if I can switch over to the other camera, which will catch it better. So you can see it's got the inputs here. It's got 3 HDMI and 1 DisplayPort. So I'm not saying that's dated, but we're seeing, again, this other budget monitor came out of the gate swinging with 2 DisplayPorts already. And there's, just so you know, the speeds on this is HDMI 2.0, 1.4, 1.4, and then the DisplayPort, I can't read that, looks like 1.3. So plug it in real quick. They're all 12 volts. This one, the Scepter, has got a red display here around it, the red RGB, and then it's going to switch to all the different colors. I have a rainbow pattern that's controllable through the OSD. So really cool from a gaming perspective there. I'm going to switch out so you guys can see this. I'm going to see if I can plug that same cable and bring up this one's display analysis. She was not playing nice with my adapters. With these laptops, I've got to have a million adapters nowadays to get things to show up. We'll see if I have to switch to my other adapter on this one. I think I will. And then I'll pull these guys up on Amazon so you guys can take a look at them. Okay, so that was the Nexus that we were looking at before. I'm going to open the report for the Scepter, and then you can see what I was talking about for brightness. So right off the bat, super duper bright. He says in the chat, one of the other owners of this display, he's got 2 of them. I'm kind of jealous already. He is saying that I wish the RGB was brighter. Here we go. I can pull that up on the channel. So I wish the RGB was brighter. Kind of useless when it's pointed at a wall. That's true. Yeah, so depending on where you have this pointed. Now, I've gotten used to the OSD. Couple quick things. The big joystick button on the back is just power in this case. And so the one thing I like about that compared to the Nexus over there is, even though they're all push buttons like the Nexus, this one has a different style and size of push button for the power. So if you're one of those guys that gets confused easily, like me, when you're pushing through a bunch of buttons and you want to make sure that, everything's working right, when you feel the power button is different, you're not going to hit the wrong button in this case. Instant one-click access to changing your inputs. You can hit the top. I can finally navigate this with some level of sophistication here. I'm going to turn the brightness almost all the way down so you guys can see this, because I need to. Because take a look at this. I'm going to pull this up here so you guys can see it. This is that display analysis report, right, that I was showing you guys. 457. Now, contrast goes way down on this, because the way I did this test, for some reason on this monitor, clear that out. For some reason on this monitor, I have to adjust the backlight brightness to get the full range on here. If I just adjust the regular brightness, it will wash out. And we got somebody in the chat saying he likes that his monitors have the joystick, which is absolutely true. Joystick would be my preference. So I've really kind of hit on this monitor several times for the lack of a good OSD. It has the Scepter stuff, which is getting really dated. It will tell you what resolution and refresh rate you're running here. This one, let me pull it up real quick so I get the right one, and I give you the right specs because I want to do it right by you. So this one's 144 hertz, also an IPS display. So like I said, I've been doing all of my creative work on this thing, and it's been just phenomenal for that. I got used to the OSD display. Like you can see here, the backlight, I just turned that down to nothing. I can turn it back up, and that will definitely kind of wash out real quick. The camera's adjusting here for it, which is nice. It does have a couple other things. Dynamic contrast, which almost nobody should use. It has some really, really cool features with the picture in a picture, picture by picture. I demoed a lot of those last time it was on the show back in the 5-monitor shootout. From a long-term test perspective, this one is solid. I've been playing Fortnite against my daughter more and more, and she is getting so good. She's kicking my butt now. So I got to take every advantage I can. So I even gave her the machine with no graphics card, no GPU, put her on performance mode, and took the nice 144 hertz and my RX 6800 for myself, and it's still neck and neck. So I tried to do everything that I could, but you can see the OSD is navigable now, whereas I think that other one was just impossible to use, and I can get in and out of this. You can also do full system resets. It does have FreeSync Premium. They both do. This one does have an HDR capability. So again, to get true HDR, you need to be over 400 to get the HDR 400 certification. This thing came in at 450. So that was across the whole display, which again is pretty phenomenal. Some just stylistic things. There's some little rubber buttons that are, covers that are all along the top here and the sides. This one can actually fit a shield. Like if you're a competitive gamer, this can actually fit a gaming shield around it. So, Scepter is becoming more and more a recognized brand in the gaming monitor space. Before they were always kind of the cost leader in things, and they definitely had a really good set of budget monitors. But now they're starting to release monitors like this. The price on this one is $250.11. Price moves slightly back and forth, so just keep an eye on that, and you can catch it when it's on a low and get a great deal on it. Just quick note, if you are watching from Amazon right now, I've got Avery Ashley in the chat. Yes, I am live every Tuesday at 5:30 for Tech on Tuesday. So we're taking a look at different monitors right now. This is the Scepter. I want to get the model number right because it's really hard to remember these. E275B-QPN168. And the easiest way to do that is to check the carousel if you're on Amazon, or you can go over here to my Amazon page, and then you can click it right on the Amazon page. It's right there. Not a touch screen, but lots of really cool things I like about this one. Sadly, I'm going to have to film the 3-month review of this. I'll throw some gameplay in it and all that stuff, and then I got to send this one packing back to its California home, which is going to be really sad. But they do promise that they're going to replace it with some even cooler stuff for me to show. So that was the Scepter monitor that I want to show. And thank you, Avery, for the follow. If you're on Amazon and you hit that follow button, you're going to get notified every single time I go live, mostly Tuesdays at 5:30 Pacific time. And there's a giveaway today. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about the next product that we have, which is the Emma Pet. But when I do that, I'm actually going to go a little bit differently this week. I don't want you guys to have to wait forever. So I'm going to put some of the giveaway details out first tonight, just because you guys have been patient, that have been watching the whole show. I know we've got a competitor out there, an older guy. I think he's the president. So we're going to go back to Trifo here, and you won't have to compete much longer. I'm going to bring up the Emma Pet and all the cool details about it. Okay, give me 1 second to switch everything back over. And if you do have questions about either the Scepter or the Nexus monitor we just looked at, I'd be happy to answer them, or I'll bring them back with me next week, those answers, and I'll be able to let you know what the correct answer was. So give that just 1 second to resync. And then hopefully, if I hit this button, you guys can see. So we were just taking a look at the Scepter right here. The last product we're going to take a look at today, and I tell you, the pricing on this, I will show you that too as well, is a great deal. It is the Emma Pet Robot Vacuum. Let me pull it up here and just get it up on the counter here so you guys can see what you're winning. It's this guy right here. And I hate to say like entry-level robot vacuum because, I couldn't make a robot vacuum. and the technology and the smarts that they've put in this thing, and compared to a lot of the lesser competitors, I would say, that are out there, this thing is very, very unique. It has an oversized catch basin. This one actually even has mopping capability. So that's something that comes with the pet one. It has a dedicated, let me see if I can pull up a picture of the mopping while we're at it. I don't know if I can show you that. But it has a dedicated mopping pad and a pet hair removing insert that you put in instead of the roller. Actually, you put it over that, and that will do this. It's also incredibly small. That's both good and bad, I can tell you. I've had some issues because the comparative to all of the other robot vacuums, the height on this thing is so small, it's getting into places that I kind of hadn't kid-proofed yet. So this is what I was talking about with that pet hair remover. And I have not installed this or used it, but you put this in place of the roller, and it draws that suction right through here, and it's really, really aggressive at picking up pet hair. So you can hopefully see that right here. So that goes on the bottom of the unit and replaces the roller so you can pick up pet hair. So if you're one of those families that has a pet and you don't want to, or you should admit that maybe there's some hair around, this is the other thing that it's got. And this is a mopping attachment. So when we pull this open here, you fill this whole thing with water. And every 20 minutes they say fill it with water. But this goes on the bottom of the unit, and it actually has these mopping pads here that can actually go through and mop. There's 10 pads included. I have not used any of the mopping pads just to keep them fresh for the person that's going to win this exact unit here. So let me pull up some information about it. There's from Pinky Tech. Marking people need to do better with these monitor names. Absolutely, I'm there with you. Let me pull up the presentation again. And we will go down to the Trifo Emma Pet. So here we go. So this is what you get in the unit. I'm going to do quick pictures of the unboxing, and we'll just get right away to the video of it actually working, because I think that's the coolest part about this. And like I said, I'll get you the giveaway details right after we go through what's in it. So again, very, very good looking unit. Every one of the units has been different. So the Maxwell is completely white with a black area for the camera. This one's kind of a two-tone, so you can see it has that lifting lid there. It's almost a metallic brushed finish on the top. It looks phenomenal. When they ship, they're going to come with that white ring around the front here, and that's to keep the bumper from, getting dislodged or hurt. Take that out real quick. This is the catch basin on this thing, and it is enormous. So it's got one of the largest catch basins, and compared to the Maxwell, the Emma has more suction. So mopping capability, dedicated pet hair remover, more suction. So we're already winning in many, many categories here. That's that pet hair remover right there. Let me get my mug out of the way, and you can see that mopping system in there. So really, really cool product. And the price on it right now, let me make sure I pull this up properly here. So this is the Emma Pet, is $159.99. So its list price right now is cheaper than the security camera vacuum, the Maxwell, but it has more capabilities, more suction if you're a pet owner and you don't need that camera capability. So that said, let me run right to the giveaway details real quick and the promo code. So real quick, vendor promo code, and I need to put this in the Amazon stream, I think, still. So I'm going to go ahead and put this promo code in, and it's going to pop it up on your side. So when you purchase this with this promo code, now that number after the 6 is an O. It's not a 0. I found that out. It's an O. It's verifying it. It is valid right now until March 6th. So decide quickly, and it is a 10% off right there. So that promo code is now active on the stream, so you guys can see that. And hopefully that promo code is there. So you can save 10% on top of the, the list price. So again, we can go back over here to the Emma. So you can save $20 by checking this. Let me go, I'm going to do one thing to get you this view. So you can save $20 by checking this if you see that coupon is available. And then I put myself in there. Oh, we're not going to do the login here because I don't want to give that away. But if you do that and then you add in that promo code, I think the final is like 120 something. So you're getting an incredible deal on this. O is not a number, it's a letter. Yes, good point, Pinky, on there. I appreciate it. So I'm going to bring that information back up, and then I'm going to bring up the giveaway on this one real quick. Give me a couple seconds to reset things for us because I jumped ahead in the program for you guys. But yeah, this is the promo code. So again, if you need that, it's JBDL6OZM. And I tested this out early last night, early this morning, and it works great. If you want to be joined into the giveaway, I'm going to pull that details up right now. Same as last time, couple small changes. Just email vacuum@thenetguy.com. Give the subject Emma, because that's now I know that you're going to want this one. If you applied for the giveaway for the other one, I'm going to transfer that over for you. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer that directly over so you guys can get the Emma vacuum if you didn't win it this time. So Kim L, I know the last name, I'm trying not to say it. So Kim, you, bless your stars, won the Maxwell with the security camera. This is the pet edition. So this has definitely got more pet owner friendly features. So if you've got cats, dogs, things with 4 legs, furry animals in your house, you're going to want this one. This is the one for pet owners. Give me 1 second. And Emily, thank you so much for the follow. You're going to get notified each and every time I go live, which is awesome. Usually Tech on Tuesday is Tuesdays at 5:30. And Seahawks1514, thank you again for joining. I'm going to go back to some information about the Emma so you can see about it. Now the Emma compared to the Maxwell, compared to the one that's coming up next, and I'm not sure if it's going to be next week. I don't want you guys to get vacuum fatigue here. But I have the Lucy upstairs, and that one is fantastic as well. So this is their whole product suite. The difference, again, on the Emma, a little bit more suction, no camera. So you lose the camera, you get a little bit more suction. You can't view it remotely like you can with the Maxwell, which is kind of cool. So, that's where you get it. You get a little bit, all of these have a larger tray than most as well. And the price on this thing with the discount and the other stuff is phenomenal. It's a great deal for what you're getting. Let me go back here and we'll talk a little bit about operation. So again, this is it going around. I think my house is like a torture test for robot vacuums. It's got that slick floor, which is always tough on them. A lot of times it's easier to think for them to go through carpet than it is on some of the stuff that I've put out there. But you'll notice in that situation, it just went down and randomly stopped and turned. I noticed that there's some firmware updates, and I did the firmware updates after filming this part, and it definitely did get better. And so there's always improvements on it. As far as firmware goes, firmware is the software that's inside your vacuum. So these vacuum cleaners, they've been releasing firmware every 3 months. And that's something I love to see from a company, is that they're not just, build it, sell it, forget it, and never apply it. Look how close it's going to those walls. So it doesn't have laser range finding. It doesn't have all this other super fancy stuff, but it's following the outside corners and it's getting into super tight spaces. And while it's doing that, it's actually building a map that you can watch on the app on the phone, which is pretty slick. It is very compact. This is the other thing. It's, I think, 3.34 inches, which is lower than most toe kicks. They're like 3.75 inches. So this is a toe kick. It's going to go underneath the toe kick. It's going to pick up that garbage. It's going to go sideways and it's going to keep going. So it has some really cool features. That said, because it is so short, it's actually caused other more unique problems here, as you see. So it's kind of doing its bump and run here, but it's had a tendency to get stuck. I'll be completely transparent with you. I usually pick up all of these chairs for every robot vacuum, but I wanted to see if it would navigate. The Lucy was able to navigate obstacles like this. This thing's getting stuck, and what happens is once it does that, it loses that inertial navigation that it's using, and so you'll see in some of the future mapping stuff that can really throw it off. So it kind of had to restart over once I ran into those situations, but I want to be fully transparent with you. This one was kind of my bad. This is when it attacked the dishwasher. They were fighting each other. They one's chrome and more stainless, and one's brighter, so it got a little mad at the dishwasher, and it just sat there kind of pounding on that. There was a piece of the dishwasher that comes down, and I didn't have that tucked in quite right, and it's soft. So when the bumper came up to it, it hadn't pushed the bumper all the way in, but then the top hit. So yeah, you can see it's just still spinning away there. No fun for it as well. But yeah, that one's got stuck. But I did want to point out how fast this thing is. It literally starts to do like almost a wheelie when it does its corners. You'll see it kind of bump sometimes and just kind of jerk. I think they could actually tune it down a little bit in that next firmware, because you can see as soon as it hits with that bumper, it just keeps moving. And a lot of other robot vacuums get confused. They take a while. So whatever processor they have in this thing is fast, because it decides to go and it goes. It doesn't mess around and make you wait at all. As far as the navigation goes, getting back to the charger, Seahawks, you wanted the email info backup. It's coming right after this little segment here. I'm going to get you that giveaway details. I will absolutely bring that back up. Thanks for asking. If you guys are just joining, this is John the Net Guy. We're taking a look at the Trifo Emma vacuum. This thing is super slick. It is a pet smart vacuum for pet owners. It has mopping capability that I showed a little bit earlier. It has a dedicated pet hair extractor that you can swap out with it, as well as more suction than the Maxwell and some of the other vacuums. And the price is right now, I think, less than $140, $135 with all the stackable coupons and promos that you can get. I've got a 10% promo going right now. So that was it going all the way back to the charging station on its own. So while it got stuck in a couple places, once I updated the firmware, the navigation got so much better. And I'm kind of looking forward to them to making improvements as well. There's a couple tests that I like to run here now on these robot vacuums. I'm going to bring it up real quick on the side camera for you guys. And that is the torture test. This first one that you're going to see here is my kid's toy. It's kind of like Legos. You'd put them out there. Some vacuums have sucked this thing up if they don't have the right guards and get completely thrown off by it. And then the next one we're going to come up is this guy, but we'll talk about that in just a sec. So the toy test, let's talk about that first. So toy test coming right up. I put it out there randomly in the floor somewhere and we let it go to town here. In this case, I had high hopes that this one would not ingest it, but it definitely took it for a ride. So it started dragging this thing around. So, you know, these smart vacuums, if you would pick it up before you swept, you should pick it up before you let your vacuum find it, right? And if you were going to pull all the chairs out anyway to sweep around them, we just toss them on upside down, kind of like a cafeteria. So it spit it out right there, no harm, no foul. And if it had spit it out underneath a couch, probably would have kept going. So that's kind of like a half and half. Didn't completely pass the toy test, but didn't quite completely fail the toy test either. So the next one up is the Mega Dudu test. This is the largest fake dog dropping I could find on Amazon. I didn't put this in the carousel. It's in last week's carousel if you really want it. This is, it's squishy too. That my daughter found that out. She's like, yo, it's like a stress ball. I'm like, I don't know if you want to see somebody just sitting there squeezing a stress ball like this, but this one is a test. Now, calling this a pet owner's vacuum, I think it's a pet owner's vacuum for pets that are not really old or have those kind of issues. Let's put it that way. So let's get back over here. I'll show you how it did on the test. You know, I guess you can kind of understand if it doesn't have a camera and it doesn't have that IR navigation, it's not going to have a great chance here, and it goes right over it. Now, it probably would have ingested quite a bit of that, and it probably would have taken it for a ride. That's kind of a fail. The Mega Dudu test did not pass that. So again, not every smart vacuum is for every person. If you want something with the super advanced navigation, they have the features that are in this one, and dual cameras, and the ability to do 3D obstacle avoidance. So it sees this thing and it can avoid it in the next model up to Lucy, but the price goes up significantly. So that's just one thing to remember. As far as the mapping, I wanted to show you the difference on how robot vacuums map. So this is the Emma robot vacuum. I think the other one's on Maxwell. I just captured a few of these from the app that I've had recently. And so you can see these vacuums here, and that area that I highlighted in red over on the right side, that's when it got stuck on some cords. So again, you would move cords before you vacuumed. Well, I didn't move a couple cords. It found them. It kind of went for a little ride and pulled them and did whatever. And then it got off. So that's a wall that it was bumping down the entire wall, which is a straight square wall here. But it had changed the angle of the vacuum and it wasn't able to recover. So I'm learning some things about how my place is set up. And I think if you had the time to put the effort in, like my dining table is exactly the right height to get stuck under that front ledge. So what I did is I put a small piece of wood under each one and I was able to get it to map. So if you're able to do the things like that, that's great. Other vacuums do have exclusion zones, like the Lucy has a no-go zone that you can set to prevent it from going into certain areas. So again, if that's something that you're going to be routinely, you think, dealing with, you can go for the higher end model. So takeaway is that the dog toys are safe. Yes, it's not going to hurt the dog toys. I was telling you that the Lucy's got some amazing mapping. This is a little sneak peek at the next robot vacuum I'm going to be bringing out for you guys. That's the edges of my room that it mapped out. And the middle picture is where it's been cleaning. The dark areas are where it couldn't get to. That was underneath my kitchen island, underneath some of the furniture. But I had left my shoes out that night, and it actually had figured out visually that I had left a pair of shoes by the couch. And that's how cool that these things have gotten. So I wanted to point that out to you guys and show you how amazing some of these things are. Just real quickly, this is another vendor's vacuum. It does 2 passes with LiDAR and a bunch of other stuff, but you're going to pay double or more of the cost. And that's, again, different kinds of technology. In the end, this thing is so quick that it finished in about the same amount of time as the one that had the real, advanced navigation on board with the lasers and stuff, but it's just bumping its way and, finding the areas that it hasn't got to yet. So this is the lineup here again, just if you guys had questions about it. Lucy is going to be coming up next on the show. And right now we've been looking at the Maxwell, and then today we've been looking at the Emma Pet vacuum cleaner. So I'm going to take a look real quick if there are any questions in the chat. The only question I see so far is, hey, can I get the email information up again? Yes, I will do that. And real quick, the promo code, if you guys are just looking for that, is available in the carousel right now. If you want to purchase it, I do get a very small commission, and it's awesome that I can bring these things to you. And I want to thank Trifo again for providing these units for both a fair and honest review and for me to send directly to you. They didn't pay me at all to do any of these reviews. They sent me the products, and I'm sending them out to you. So again, this is my experience with these. If you do want to get into this next giveaway, the email address is vacuum@thenetguy.com. Honestly, if you don't know how to spell vacuum, spell it any way you want. It'll all come to me. And the subject line is going to be Emma for this one. You can send me anything you want in the body. Send me a picture of your pets or something. That would be really cool. And the drawing is going to be held March 8th. Whether or not I do another product show, I don't know. We'll see what the schedule is. I will be here March 8th doing a show, but that's when the drawing will be on this, and I may or may not be showing the Lucy next week. I'll have to double check with them and how all the stars align here. But this is how you get in to that giveaway. So this has been... Somehow I got a double of me on the screen. This has been John the Net Guy. This is the Emma Pet Vacuum here. How many people want to see the stuff that it's been able to trap from upstairs? This is a part that my wife, she hates that I do this, but it's a vacuum cleaner, and it's kind of like she watches all those Dr. something whatever. I kind of think it's a science experiment because, again, these things have done really, really well. So if you're squeamish, look away real quick, because we're going to be unloading the robot vacuum, and this is what it was able to capture. This is another one of those super, super easy to set up ones. So I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to open the bin. Now, what's cool about this, it's got a whole lot of room. My wife had actually cleaned the floors the other day. I'm like yelling at her. I'm like, don't clean up, don't clean up. But watch this. This is, we talk about pet hair and suction. I'm rolling. We had a pet visit this last weekend. That is off of 2 passes through that front room. There is popcorn. Oh, there's the spring I was looking at. I was looking for that spring for my daughter's pen. She got one of those cool multicolored pens, and she accidentally lost the thing. And that's that green piece of paper that it picked up on the video. So yeah, we generally have a clean floor anyway. This is after going through a couple different passes. The one thing that's obviously I'm really impressed about, and I've seen this on the other models too, is that this mesh filter does an amazing job. Look at that. So the clean areas versus the other one. I don't know where we're getting all of this lint. I gotta go check the dryer vent and make sure it's plugged in. But this vacuum, compared to all the other ones that I've used, the series that has this in it has actually been really, really good at picking up fine lint and dust. And there you go. There is, as somebody called it the other day, dinner. My wife would be mortified. The other part of John's beard. Oh, no, I don't. Well, okay, that's a beard hair. Okay, that's beard hair for sure. Don't report me, but yeah, that's a beard hair. I'm almost certain of it. Apparently, I've been shedding, so that's the cleaning out part. Again, this thing will be completely cleaned and reset for the winter, and we will see you guys next week for another one of these shows. I appreciate you guys for checking in on this. This has been John the Net Guy. I do this show every week because I love checking out new tech products and I love bringing these to you. We've checked some other cool things today that I haven't used before. The Rio Link camera, we checked that out. We checked out that Nexus monitor. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how that gameplay goes on that one. I think it's going to do really, really well gaming. The stand and the other stuff are no good, so it better do really well gaming. And then just wanted to, again, thank you guys for tuning in on this. If you have any other questions, Serene, is it every Tuesday? Yes, it is. Every single Tuesday this year at 5:30 p.m. I'll be going live. And I'm just checking the chats for one more time to see if anybody else is here. As Pinky says, my wife would be mortified. Yeah, my wife is mortified. She's got to deal with me. So I thank you guys, and I really do appreciate it. I will catch you guys next week, March 8th, for another show at 5:30 p.m. Talk to you later, Zach, and everybody else in the chat. See y'all later.